Oh, wait. Well, anyways, I'm recording already. It is Conversations on the Influence. Feel free if you want a beverage. I'm going to smoke a little weed because that's like the gimmick. Or drinking. I don't feel like right now. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, then I'm going to get a glass of wine.
Okay, good.
I actually bought some from Costco.
Hey.
Get over here.
Hey, wait. So people are freaking out. I haven't heard about this. So they created more shutdowns, I guess?
Yeah. They're going to be. Well, they are. But it's more, they're just trying to remind people, that we're not out of the woods yet. I don't know if they're going to do anything additional, really. Well, they are. They're saying the restaurants are shut down, different things. I don't know exactly what the exact ramifications are, but yeah, there's some additional stuff that's going on. But I feel like they're saying they're going to start giving out fines to people who are out past 10 and all sorts of stuff. So,
Got it.
That's going on, but I'm not really sure, if they're really enforcing it. I think it's just okay. Yeah, this is the last hurrah of the pandemic. So. Yeah, I got some good red wine from Costco. They have an awesome wine collection, actually.
I'm sure they do. Costco's taking over the world.
Yeah, they do.
Fuck it, since it's a special guest, I'm going to have a little bit of weed and a little bit of Negroni. I can't drink too much because I have another podcast after this, so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't want to be.
You can stand if you want to stand.
With my boxers?
Oh, yeah, that'd be really funny, actually. Hold on, let me put this close. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, this thing. Push your, what's this top part called? Push this down more. I need your more in the frame. Yeah, much better.
Is that good?
Yeah. Okay. All right, boys and girls, welcome to another Conversations Under the Influence. I'm your host, Natalia Nemes. I'm very excited to be chatting with tech entrepreneur Kapil Pershad. But first things first, we gotta cheers. What are you drinking there, my friend?
The Influence, red wine from Costco.
Shameless promotion. Shout out to Costco. I'm drinking
very nice.
a Negroni, but I'm actually be double-fisted a little. Actually, I'm gonna smoke a little weed. It's one of those days. So I look like an asshole. Anyone who's actually watching this thing and want to give me better tips of how to smoke and look cool when you're videoing something, drop it in the comments below. I'm like totally a white girl. P.S. Don't buy lighters from the dollar store. These things suck balls. Hold on. This is what I've been having to use lately.
You gotta get a Bic.
For anybody who's not actually watching this, I've got one of those. What are these things called? Those like long lighters that you like.
Barbecue lighters.
Barbecue lighters. They work great. Anyways, now we can get started.
Fantastic.
So, why don't you walk us through where you're from, when you came to the States, and get into a little bit of that before I grill you about all the brain stuff you know.
Yeah, sure. So originally from India, from a place called Chandni Chowk, which is like old Delhi. It's really old, heavily populated. And so I'm from there. We moved around a bit in India. I lived in Bhutan for a couple of years, which is like this small little Buddhist nation in between India, Nepal, Tibet, and China. And then I came here fairly young. We moved here finally in '88, so I was 8 years old when we came. And
did you speak English?
I didn't. I knew basic words: it, she, he, the, etc. So I didn't actually speak English when I got here.
And then when you say here, where did you land?
LAX.
Okay.
Yeah.
LAX. Hey.
Yeah, good old LAX. That's it.
So I'm sure people were very welcoming in school between you not knowing English and not looking like the blonde Californian.
Horrible. It was tough. I thought I was Mexican for the first couple of years when I was here. So I mean, we grew up in a predominantly Mexican neighborhood. So I was hanging out with Tito, my first friend in the United States, Mexican guy with red hair.
Tito had red hair?
Tito had red hair. Yeah, a Mexican dude with red hair. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Tito Gamba, however his name was. I'm like, man, thinking back on it, I mean, I was like 9 or 10, but thinking back, yeah, that's an awesome name, Tito Gamba.
Were you how did you learn English? My hair is all over the place.
ESL, I learned English ESL predominantly, but also TV really helped. We watched I Love Lucy, a lot of I Love Lucy. We watched a ton of Andy Griffith, all the kind of family shows as well, even not so much, Married with Children and just other shows from the 90s. Awesome.
Come here, whore. Give me my beer.
Totally.
That's funny. So did you struggle in school because of that? Or were you like your typical Indian nerd that excelled and made straight A's and all that good stuff?
When I got here, I was doing really well. I think elementary school, I did pretty well. The one thing that held me back was we moved a ton. My mom was always switching jobs. So I went to 5 elementary schools. I went to 3 junior highs, and I went to 3 high schools. So that was probably why my grades started sucking. I was always on the move. So I think that was one of the reasons. I think I was always intelligent. Always on the move, always trying to keep up with the new social atmosphere, which kind of took away, there's a lot of pressure on both sides, academically and socially when you're in school. So you feel like you have to keep up on both ends, and it's a tough balance for kids sometimes when there's no permanence.
Yeah.
So I think that played a role.
Got it. And then, so you decided to go and launch your first business, I believe you said at 18?
Yeah. So in high school, like a lot of other kids, I was a big pothead, and I didn't actually graduate high school with great grades. I think I graduated with like a D average. It was horrible, actually.
Cheers to all the underachievers out there. Hey, you can still turn your life around.
Yeah, no, but something happened at 18 when I graduated high school. I'm like, look, this is it. This is my last hurrah, in a sense. I've either got to kind of make it or break it. So, I quit smoking weed, quit partying, and I went to college and, to junior college, and my GPA in JC was 3.6, which is a complete 180 degrees from 1.8 or whatever it was in high school. So at that point, I decided I wanted to learn web development, HTML, and this is back in like 2000, like 1999 or whatever it was. And this is just when the web is fledgling, all these technologies just starting to get out the gate. So I decided I was going to build a business online, an e-commerce business. And
can you explain what an e-commerce business is for all of us dumb shits over here that don't understand it?
Yeah, just selling goods online. Just selling goods online through the first kind of version of the web, in a sense. And because I was a pothead, I didn't want to sell weed, so I started ismokeshop.com. So I started selling bongs and other smoking accessories, and our tagline was "I Smoke Shop is your smoke shop." And we were doing great. You get a free pipe, like similar to the one that you're smoking out of. Actually, you get a free pipe with every order over $45. That was our thing. Yeah. And actually, we did really well for an 18-year-old. I mean, we were kind of making money.
Who's we? Did you have a business partner?
My brother. I brought my brother in.
Family
business. I brought my brother. Yeah, I mean, we were living in the same house.
Proud.
Oh my God. When she realized what was going on, she's like, what are you guys doing? Like hookahs. That's what they're known as in Indian culture, right? She's like, you're selling hookahs? Oh my God. And
so where did you
I just remember her hand going to her forehead. In my room. Initially, we were living in this like Section 8 housing home. And I had it just lined up in my room. I had it in the trunk of my car. I had it boxed up, in the patio, in front of the car, in between the car, all sorts of places. My friends were storing some of it for me. It was insane.
That's amazing.
But yeah, we got shut down by the Justice Department. But otherwise, we were a bit too early.
You're ahead of the curve. So then you went on to create another business, or did you just do something that was more in the tech world?
So at that point, so I was going to school full time, working full time, and running that business. So what happened was I got a promotion. I got promoted to a software support technician. So I was doing software support. From there, I interviewed for a quality assurance engineer, software quality assurance engineer. This is the individual that basically tests the software to kind of make sure that yeah, there's no bugs, test it out, make sure it's working right. You also do like performance testing to make sure that it can perform well, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of an entry-level job in the software development. I got that job and I was immersed in amazing technology talent. I was immersed with a ton of amazing local engineers, software engineers, foreign engineers from Russia, et cetera, that came in after the Soviet Union collapsed, and just amazing engineering talent. So I couldn't help but learn programming. So I decided to teach myself. So at night I was kind of I was just writing code, and there was a program that they needed written. So I decided to write it, gave it to my manager, and they checked it out. They checked out the code, so they promoted me and made me a junior software developer. So that started my career in tech, and from there I became a software engineer, and
Wait,
I
time out.
became a senior.
When you got promoted, how old were you at the time?
I was 19
Damn,
at the time.
I'm always ahead of the curve. Okay, keep going. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was 19, and by the time my buddies were graduating from high school, and even my brother's buddy, who's a few years older than me, I was actually making more money than all of them who were graduating from college. Sorry.
Were you spending a lot of money at strip clubs at this point in your life? I feel like you would have been.
I was, you know what? I got. So I not at that time. I wasn't doing any partying. I was at home. My friends would, come and hang out and then just leave. And they're like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing software development." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So so I decided to actually hold school for a little while. I was a physics major, and I love physics. I love science. At some point, I want to go back and finish. I'm going to do it for the right reasons, education, just to learn. But I decided to pursue my career in technology, and it definitely wasn't a wrong decision. I did have a ton of businesses as well. We had a catering trailer. I had an import-export business where I was importing teak handicrafts from Indonesia, Thailand, and India. That was awesome. We used to sell to all these little like home decor stores at the swap meet. And then I burned my, hair, my eyebrows off trying to use one of those barbecue ladders that you're using in
Were
the
you
catering
smoking
trailer.
weed when you were doing that?
Yeah. Right before that particular event, I was smoking weed. It was crazy.
Too funny.
So I had a ton of different random businesses. Some worked, some didn't.
I mean, so first question, how many businesses to date have you started?
I have probably started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9, probably. Yeah, about 9 businesses I've started.
Do you hear that, people?
No.
This guy with a 1.8 GPA has started 9 businesses. That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
That's
You just keep
incredible.
learning.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
And then you touched on some things worked, some things didn't. What would you say, let's start with the ones that didn't work. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned in that?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you learn so much more from your failures than you do your successes. I think that I learned different things from each business. I think they were all successes in a sense. I mean, they all could have worked. My catering trailer, I think I could have turned that into a franchise. Smoke shop would have worked if I didn't get shut down by the Justice Department, et cetera, et cetera, the import-export company. But, being young, I just kept moving from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. It was really hard to focus. And I just had a ton of ideas. I want to try this. I want to try that. So that was kind of difficult. So I would say in terms of lessons learned, number one thing, pick something with a huge market. Food, technology, shoes, huge market. Find a niche, do something different. iSmoke Shop was one of the first smoke shops online. My catering trailer still, there's not too many food trucks that serve Indian food. So that was our niche in 2002, where there was nothing out there that did that. The teak, home decor accessories, there really weren't a ton of teak products in the US market. So that's the reason I decided on teak. So find some sort of a niche to differentiate yourself and just go out there and kill it and persevere. And, and don't quit, because it will work as long as the data looks right. As long as the market is there and you differentiate yourself properly, it will work. And they all could have worked if I just didn't switch gears enough.
Got it. Do you think being so young when you're starting these business kind of helped you like move past a lot of like did you have fear starting this, or were you just kind of like so excited you didn't care?
Not me. I loved it. I think two things I've learned about myself is that I love the engineering process. I love building things. I love coding. And two, that I love starting businesses. I love starting businesses and running businesses. And it just fills me with just so much gratitude, and it just helps me feel alive.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I want to pivot a little bit because from my understanding now you are in the credit card payment system realm, correct?
Yeah, so actually that first job was a payments company. So technically I've been in the payment space for about 20 years. I did work at a Hollywood talent company. I ran their technology department, LA Casting. I don't know, you might be familiar with it. But
oh my God, everybody knows LA Casting out here, all the actors and actresses.
I was the head of technology for LA Casting.
You could have been bribing him.
Yeah. I set up their website, their talent platform, everything. So that was me for about 2 years, and I left and I got back into payments. So technically I've been in payments for the last, 18 years now, and I grew up in that industry. So finally at the end of this road, yes, I have started my own payments processor. It's called Paisley, and we're just getting things set up. It's going to be amazing.
So how long does it take from the start of you having the idea for Paisley to it finally being launched?
It takes a lot of time. There's a ton of compliance work that you have to do.
What does compliance mean for the people that don't understand, like myself?
In order to process transactions or move money electronically, you have to be approved by the banking system, by the Federal Reserve, Visa, MasterCard. So that you have to comply with all sorts of regulations. So it's taken about a year and a half, but we're almost we've gotten all our approvals now. So we're working on our technology, and we're going to be launching very soon.
That's amazing. Congrats. Okay, so then I got a question. So this time last year, I remember a couple of years ago, I kept getting these emails that looked like they were from like Apple or my credit card being like, oh my God, there's potential fraud on this, like da 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 da. And it was like a very stressful email. And then like right away, it's like, oh, click on this to enter. And basically it's all your personal information. And I learned the hard way that like, it was just, I don't know what the right word is, phishing or scamming or whatever it is, but like, what is your advice for people not to fall in these loops? Because I'm sure you know, like, what they really look like versus what they don't look like, all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do in the payment space is we create risk management software. We create fraud prevention software. So when you go out of town and you swipe your credit card and you get a text message from American Express or Visa or whoever your card's from, they tell you, hey, are you out of town? Was this you? So that's fraud prevention software. So in terms of phishing, what I would do, you have to look for oddities, and they are great scammers these days. These emails look so professional. They copy the designs of these various organizations like Bank of America. Like I got one the other day that looks so professional, and to an untrained eye, it can be impossible to detect the difference. But there are a couple of key things that you can look for. Number one, make sure that the domain name that the email is from, a domain name is the part of the email that comes after the name. Mm-hmm. So for instance, your name at gmail.com, mm-hmm. right? So make sure that domain name matches the company's actual domain name. So if you're getting an email from Bank of America, Bank of America's domain name is bankofamerica.com. But if the email is coming from, Jackson at xyzz@.com, there's something fishy.
Probably not from Bank America. I actually figured that
Probably
out.
not from Bank of America.
So, like, and I can't remember because it's been a couple of years, but you can click on it, right? And you can actually see that, right?
Yeah, you can expand the header of the email in Gmail or Outlook or whatever it is and take a look at the domain name and make sure that it's valid. That's probably the easiest way. Sometimes they'll use like something dot bankofamerica.com. Please also be aware of those. There's other things that you can look for when you actually click on something. Don't click on anything on the email, actually. Do not click at all.
Don't click. He made a mistake, kids. Do not click.
Yeah, do not click, because clicking is what they want you to do. So
can
when
they
you
get
click
all your
on
information
something,
from that click?
they can start to, yeah. As soon as you click, they could possibly install something on your PC.
Really?
Yeah, like malware, which will enable them to get more information down the line. It opens a small hole into your computer or your laptop, and from there, they just keep making that hole bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And injecting more code, et cetera, et cetera. Or they'll ask you to log in to your Bank of America account, for instance, but you're logging in to the wrong site. Now they have your B of A credentials, right? So they'll set up a fake duplicate site. These scammers are amazing. They're really good at what they do. So
where the hell are these people? All over the world, I'm assuming.
Mostly from Nigeria. So interesting enough, Nigeria has a huge, a big, super intelligent population, but they don't have any jobs. I mean, they have a ton of smart people there, but there's no jobs. So Nigerians are great scammers.
That's crazy. So my marriage proposal wasn't real, is what you're trying to tell me? I've been proposed to by somebody in Nigeria. So, okay, you mentioned phishing. So I noticed like on my Gmail, there's a report phishing and report spam. What the hell is the difference?
Right. So spam is just email that you don't want. It's just trash email that people send you. It's mostly marketing, right? Viagra or whatever it is. I get a ton of Viagra emails for some random reason. Anyway, so that's spam. So phishing would be where they're trying to fish for information. They're trying to get you to perform some sort of action, right? Bite the hook, right? So they're fishing you, and if you bite the hook, you're caught.
Got it.
They're gonna reel you in.
Then by reporting this stuff, does this go, like, for instance, I have Gmail and I have Apple, does that go to them? Like, is there a way that eventually that they'll kind of like catch these guys and they won't keep coming into my emails?
Yeah, well, yeah, they will. They might catch these guys. They will. It's going to cut down on the phishing. It goes into their system, and it kind of coagulates in this AI process.
Side note: we have an intruder. Hold on.
Holding.
Hey, I'm recording a podcast. Shut your hole, okay? Thank you. Never. Murphy's Law. He's like an attention whore, just like my cat. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries. But it will help cut down on phishing and spam. It's going to go back to Google, and they're going to churn it through their AI algorithms.
Okay.
And it'll cut down on that stuff. In terms of catching them, it's a cat and mouse game. Cops and robbers have been going on for 10,000 years, and this is just the 2020 version of cops and robbers. It's never going to stop, quite honestly.
Too funny. So me just deleting all that shit and getting angry for the past like 3 years was not serving me. So I just should start be like fishing.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, I guess I got all my questions for like the credit card stuff. I mean, is there anything that you would like to talk to? Because I feel like, there's a lot of people that have similar, like everyone wants to like attain something, right? And I feel like a lot of people always use their hardships, and you didn't speak English, you're not from this country, you sucked at school, but yet you still were over to come the other side of it, and you're actually excited and have passion about what you do. What advice can you give people who are in ruts in whatever shape or form, or who are going against things that they feel like are greater than themselves?
You know what? If if you wake up in the morning and you're happy with what you're doing, um, keep doing it and just dig deep and let data be the guide, right? Let the data guide you as to how you're going to make that succeed. And that's really what's
So what
helped
does that
me.
mean though? Because
What that means is, let's say you love what you do. Let's say you love what you do and you wake up in the morning and you're super happy doing what you're doing, right? But maybe you're not making money at it, or maybe you have a small business that's not quite thriving yet, right? So do some research to figure out the market and how you can adjust your business to target that market, but still maintain what you're doing and this love that you have for the business, right? So make adjustments. You might need to sacrifice tidbits of it, but I think as long as you love what you're doing when you're waking up in the morning, you're going to be a much happier person, and that's a win.
cheers to that. Yeah, and real quick, just before we go, it reminds me of saw this quote that said, "Don't change the goal, change the plan." So
There you go.
simple, but yet we complicate the hell out of all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
And I'm myself
Beautiful.
included. How many years I'm like just banging my head around the same shit, and finally I was like, maybe I should take some online courses from people who actually did this successfully versus just like, why isn't this working? But well, thank you
Totally.
so much, Kapil. I appreciate your time. For anybody who doesn't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast, like this conversation, and if you have any questions, comments, concern, talk shit in the comment section. All right. Ciao, ciao, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalia. Bye, guys.
Ciao.